interrupt us when came the squeak, like scratching a chalkboard, the nerves that it seeks, a button to crazy with comfortless pitch. So I think I will silence the son of a bitch. I know it sounds heavy, perhaps out of place, but I'll cover my actions and not leave a trace of my vented frustration, quelled with real style. Or once was a squeak, is now me with a smile.
All right.
Yeah.
I had these all nice and set up to where it would be easy to go ahead and read here. But then I ran into this little issue of dropping them over here a little while ago, and they just kind of went all over the place.
Okay.
So
Well,
bear
they're
with
all
me.
pluses at times, so.
Yeah, well,
Especially Mark Suharski.
He's not here. Okay.
so bear with me here a second. One I wrote called Sagan's Dream. Existence is a cosmic orchestra, a quantum vibration of tiny strings that resonate to the key of existence. Tuned up now to the 11th dimension. We jive to this music at the speed of light, become melodies of who and what we are, as randomly we celebrate in personal space, with and for all we dare to perceive. Believing all is the work of a benevolent spirit, we tread blindly through this moment in time. Daring thoughts of forever and bliss, we disregard the value of the moment. But we are specks no more relevant than the billions and trillions around us, moving outward ever faster in time relative, to become quantum level small in comparison. To where distance squared is meaningless, in a space colored dark as never, where cold rules the inkwell of existence and all fades to become less than shadow. The laws of Zen won't matter now, in a place where balance has been found, fading away into the exquisite nothingness, awaiting its turn into another beginning.
Ooh.
My daughter had some issues here some months ago, and I had some temper issues, and I have a tendency to get a little zen with my advice, and I wrote her this poem. It's called Breathe. In this turbulent world in which we live, full of take and not enough give, just breathe. Fueled by imbalance, hardened with time, blinded with greed, but won't give a dime, just breathe. Triggered by hate felt by us, blossoming drama, psychotic fuss, just breathe. Victims now of our own inattention, like a junkie waiting for an intervention, just breathe. Tattooed uncertainty, left with the pain, scarred and alone, and the world's insane, just breathe. When the line is crossed and leaves you pissed, you stand up to raise a blood-clenched fist, but just breathe. When doubt and despair overtake the mind, look for that place that no one can find, and just breathe. It would be easy now to be what we fear, but that won't get you away from here, so just breathe. Let truth be your dogma. Close your lying eyes, filled with illusion, like that's a surprise, and just breathe. All will pass, and you'll be alive, because you only win if you can survive. So just breathe. Just breathe. And breathe. Years ago, I lived in South Dakota, and lived in a town called Springfield, which is down by the Missouri River. And it was a very small town, home of college, Springfield College, and they had one town cop there and a few town characters, and this is a rather serious story of one of those people that live there. It's called Springfield. I think Willie was born on the res, but I don't really know for sure because I came late to this tale. As true as any on the Dakota plains, as many red men of the prairie fell to wallow in alcohol delusion from the pain of a lost culture, forever to be a warrior no more, or hunt the lost bison masses, and the spirit was replaced by Jesus, like they needed his burden too. Fat old Charlie, the town cop, knew all the good places to fish, and sometimes took Willie along if he didn't sleep too late in that cell where he'd sleep it off last night's party. Its unlocked door the only haven from the effects of the booze that slowly poisoned his body by dissolving his spirit and slowly turning his liver to stone. But even when he didn't go, Willie would watch Charlie's desk and answer the phone, put away legal papers, and sweep that dusty old floor, his way to say thank you, I guess, for the bed, the coffee, for the protection against himself, because inside they both knew this wouldn't end up good. Feeling old, Charlie finally retired from a town where nothing happens. The mayor hired Willie with a wink to fill old Charlie's place that day. He knows where all the stuff is. And they all laughed as they toasted. Only one didn't drink that night, as he stared at the shiny new badge pinned to his ragged Levi jacket, over which still beat his heart. As it sometimes happens, time went and cold turkey rants tamed into a newfound respectability as town cop. No longer the drunken lout making motorcycle sounds to leader of the pack that played at the dance hall bar where they laughed and hollered, "Sing another one, Chief." Winnie was his mother. She lived in a smoky tar paper shack down by the river that sustained her. Wisps of gray smoke hung around an old refrigerator-turned smoker where she turned smoky fish into money. She sold to fishermen who sought her out. No slave to government checks that kept her drunken husband away, who would beat her in alcohol rage, leaving their years beyond her time. So no longer did town white men visit, looking for what they could take, in that smoky shack where they wondered, not always paying for what they took. As wives sat home, all none the wise, of the rumors whispered between beers, of a place where cries fall deaf from a rosebud girl taken to quell their lust. But one night, in a stinking rage, her husband awoke on a stack of old lumber to look in panic for his wine bottle. So he left the yard where he slept, walking down the bank to her doorway, screaming, "Where the fuck is my wine?" He hit her and blood flowed down. Blinded, she grabbed a knife used for fish and ended his madness from ear to ear. Like a hawk, she stood over him as he died. Willie left the station for lunch with a sandwich, chips, and Coke, and stopped by, I guess, just to say hi. Or maybe to see why the smoke had died. In blood lay his father before him. Next to him, rocking back and forth. Or next to him, she rocked back and forth, praying that death would take her away. So he put her in the cell where he had slept, under old Charlie's watch so long ago, and turned the rusty key to utter despair for what he knew would come. After years, Winnie died alone in jail. The old tar paper shack fell victim of time, and the town that couldn't wait to convict has dwindled and barely now survives. The police station sits cluttered and cold, long without use or real purpose, its last prisoner gone like the buffalo, left alive only in distant memory. And Willie, well, no one really knows. the South Dakota wind.